Peace and blessings. What is up, YouTube fam? Bam, baby. It is me, Golden. I have not been here on YouTube in a very hot minute. I have been pretty focused on uploading to my Patreon page. So shout out to my beautiful, amazing, kind, and generous patrons over on Patreon. You are helping me generate a new stream of income in my life that is helping me as I continue to go through this recovery from breast cancer treatment phase in my life, recovering from losing my job, my full-time job during cancer treatment. And now as a self-employed person, or I like to say that I'm employed by Source, God, and community. It's a totally different situation than what I was doing before I lost my job. So now my focus is on my coaching and on providing rituals and rites of passage to people. I use the word coaching because it's the go-to word that I think people can reference and quickly kind of understand what I do. I do a lot of one-on-one consults and session work with people, and I do it all under the umbrella of what I like to call the art of awakening. And so I see all kinds of people, from young, very young people to our elders, and within the spectrum, and for a whole variety of reasons, people choose to come to me for support with whatever challenges they happen to be navigating in their lives. I have the blessing of having had a lot of diverse life experience and a lot of also professional experience and training. So I draw from all of my resources and am crafting currently a toolkit, which I lovingly call the Art of Awakening. And essentially what it is I utilize the Earth's elements as sort of the aspects of my offerings. Everything kind of plugs into the different aspects of the Earth's elements. So I'm currently writing my book, which the working title is The Art of Awakening, and it's focused in on this breast cancer journey that I have been on, and the art of awakening that is being born from that crucible experience that I went through. And so that's one challenge in and of itself, because as you may or may not know, when a person undergoes Western allopathic cancer treatments, that these treatments create a lot of fallout. And so the recovery process, and it's interesting, the specialists who I see tell me full recovery could take 3 to 5 years on average. I'm about 1.5 years out of my very last treatment that I had with them, and it's been way slower of a process than I ever could have fathomed, because I didn't understand what I was entering into, and the information that I received from the specialists who were treating me did not, I don't think, cover the full scope of what I am actually experiencing now. I think I got a really generalized, sort of like abbreviated version of what the potential outcomes could be. So right now I am fully investing my energy, not fully, but my top priority, because obviously it's not fully, because, well, I'll explain why it's not fully. My top priority right now is healing myself all the way down to the fabric of my existence, healing myself on a cellular level, healing myself in the unseen realms, body, mind, emotional body, spirit, energy, all aspects of my being, bringing me into a state of regeneration and homeostasis. And my goal is to get myself to a state of vitality and health that I've actually never experienced in my life. And so I'm going to be speaking a lot more about how this is coming to be, why this is as it is. You know, like when I think about how they say it'll be an average of 3 to 5 years to get to where I was, well, in 3 to 5 years, it's going to be 3 to 5 years out from where I was then. And prior to my diagnosis, I was experiencing a lot of sickness symptoms. So probably the whole year at least prior to my diagnosis, I experienced like cold and flu and just boom, 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 boom. And I worked at a school, and, you know, it's common for people who work at schools to catch what the kids have passing around, but I mean, this was peculiar. It was like ridiculous how often I was getting sick, and I was getting really sick, like thrown down with the gnarly flu type sick. And, you know, I was also under a state of massive stress. The 2.5 years prior to my diagnosis, I went through a really long, gnarly, frustrating court debacle, which I experienced myself going into a deep state of distress and depression and anxiety, that I'm sure had massive implications on my immune system. Because when we're running in chronic stress and when our nervous systems are looping in chronic stress and the depression and anxiety, we're creating an acidic environment in our bodies, and our immune systems are compromised when we enter into these states, especially when we're in a deeply acidic state, especially ongoingly for a long period of time. So I was managing this court thing that I was being brought into and working full-time and being a mother of 2 teens full-time, and trying to navigate a relationship with my then partner, which was really, really suffering. I mean, I think first and foremost because of the amount of stress that I was experiencing and all the balls that I was juggling in the air. It was just like the relationship really suffered because of that. And so, you know, to get me in 3 to 5 years to where I was then, I don't have a desire to be as I was then. And I think, it's not that I think, I know that all the aspects, all the contributing factors that led to the crucible experience of the cancer manifesting in my body, it was a whole constellation of things that was building up to manifest as cancer, as that diagnosis, which I'm going to make videos specifically about how I've been reverse engineering the cancer that occurred in my body and looking at the contributing factors and using that as tools to create preventative measures in all of our lives so that we don't have to take ourselves into states of chronic disease or autoimmune disease or whatever it is, right? We want to take all the measures now to bring ourselves into a state of homeostasis, health and vitality and thriving, so that we can just freaking beam into our highest destiny and we don't have to fuck around with life or death diseases. Feel me? So, excuse me as I change my position. Okay. So what I was saying is I've made this healing process that I'm in top priority in my life, which anyone who is a single mom knows it's quite an interesting challenge to put your needs and yourself above all else, because usually what we're doing is completely focused on, if we have what I would call limited financial resources, or if we're financially under-resourced or under-resourced in general, we're really focused on making money to cover our bills. We're really focused on our kids and our kids' needs, and we often fall to the back burner. And going through something like cancer, it was just like, there's a text that came through that distracted me. I just lost my train of thought. Chemo, brain damage from chemo, harder to concentrate. Going through cancer really just taught me, like, I have to. It's not an option, it's not a luxury, it's not something to consider, but my health is my number one top priority. Boom. It's just a must now. And that doesn't change the fact that I'm still the sole breadwinner in my home and still pretty much the sole provider for my daughter, who still lives with me, and I love that. And, I am a mama. I'm a single mama. I have 2 kids. My son is not living in our home, but my daughter is. And so I provide and take care and cover the responsibilities and make sure, the rent's paid and all the bills are paid and we have food and clothes and transportation. And so it's an interesting challenge to make my health my top priority while managing and navigating regular life. And after I lost my job, I have to say, I had the extreme blessing of not only receiving unemployment for a period of time, a few months, I can't remember how long, maybe like 6 months, maybe, I can't remember, but I had the blessing of our community, which was just like God in all of these other people's bodies, donating to my daughter and I. And it literally has been, and donations continue to come in here and there, by the grace of God. These streams of income have come in to help us literally stay in our apartment and pay the rent. And it's just been such a blessing. It's been such a blessing because it's helped me scale into getting on my feet as now a self-employed person, while simultaneously healing. Like, there was no way I would have been like, go jump back into a full-time job. Even now where I'm at, even a year and a half out of treatment, I'm still like, what? I couldn't even fathom full-time work right now, and it may come to that. Who knows? I'm definitely just rolling with whatever life brings through, and envisioning, manifesting abundance in all ways to come through me, doing deeply meaningful work that is sustainable for my energy levels and what I'm capable of this time. So that's the goal. Hold please, I'm going to take a sip of this amazing organic fresh squeeze OJ. Okay. So I am in week 9 of, what I'm calling an inner vision quest. It's a quest of detoxification on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, detoxification of my being to clear away obstructions. Sorry, texts keep coming through. Clear away obstructions in all aspects of my being, to call forth the radiance of my true self, and to help myself regenerate and heal on deep on a cellular level and beyond cells into the unseen realms. And it's been beautiful. So that, sorry, more text. That I've been documenting on my Patreon. Sorry. I should have put it on airplane mode, my bad. So if you want to know about the journey, go to my Patreon page. I've been documenting there, and I feel like I'm just starting to scale into the depths now. And I decided to do it slow and steady, to be reasonable with myself. I knew that if I was going to go 0 to 100 real quick, that would be just kind of like a recipe for a disaster. I knew that I needed to titrate and scale in to the detoxification. And it was a very wise move on my part. Good job me for feeling into that. And I want to feel successful with this, and I'm not in a race, and I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I'm not following anyone's protocol. It's literally my entire internal guidance system is like, this is what we're going to do. So, and I just feel in week by week, and I created an accountability log so I can literally see all the points that I have committed to for the week, how successful I am with meeting those, and what are the trends, and where am I really hitting my mark, and where am I not following through. And then I think about why. And so there's no judgment, there's no shame or guilt. It's just compassionate reflection and curiosity about how I'm showing up to my commitment to heal and regenerate myself on all levels. Because ultimately what I want to do, I just kind of found out, like, I am the guinea pig of my own life. And I was a guinea pig for the Western medical modality. Now I'm a guinea pig for God and for me. And I'm like, what happens when you use these tools of the art of awakening to come back from the fucking dead? Because, y'all, that's where I was. Like, I was literally death warmed over. And I mean, when I see and feel myself now, I've come a long way. And I also feel the extent of the damage that was done by these treatments, and just 44 years in the matrix as a human. Like, there's wear and tear. And so I'm just like, how about I'm a guinea pig for working with the earth's elements to heal? And another interesting opportunity that I've noticed the universe has designed for me is like, no, I'm not doing this inner vision quest out in a retreat center, out on a tropical island, out in a Himalayan cave. I'm here in the urban jungle, San Diego, in a busy town, in my apartment, while I'm still working, while I'm still mothering. And yet I've prioritized my health and my healing practices, and I've committed into what I am working with, the earth's elements, to heal. To first and foremost do it for myself, for my true need for healing. Secondly, just to prove to anyone and anything that working with the natural elements takes us into a state of thriving. And when we simplify and when we sync up with Mother Earth and the blessings that she bestows upon us, and Father Son, when we yoke our human self to our eternal self, this is where the magic happens. The magic's actually already happening all the time. The thing is, our job as humans in the awakening process is to clear away the programs, the obstructions, the illusions, the false belief systems, everything that's standing in the way of the eternal sublime beam that is permeating, that is us, beaming 24/7. It's like it's like take off the armor and take off the shields and take off the fucking veils of illusion and clean out on all levels so that the electrical frequency and the vitality can flow freely and beam through. Because ultimately what I see myself is like an antenna for God. And I just want to transmit love. And that's ultimately my intention. And so I'm like, let me try these practices. Let me allow this system to be born through me. And it's like, the system has existed for all time. I'm just remembering it, and in a way that is unique to me. And what I'd like to do is ultimately share it with as many people as possible. I truly believe that there's no accident that we have all manifested in our bodies on planet Earth together at this time of upheaval on the planet. I do believe that we are death dualists to the old paradigm and that we are midwifing in the new paradigm. And that anyone who's experiencing the something's off here, that you're in the awakening process. And the awakening process, when we don't have context or understand why we're experiencing depression, anxiety, fear, confusion, contraction, isolation, sickness, whatever it is, overwhelm, hopelessness, whatever it is, these are all showing up for us to lean in to not even lean in, be with what we're experiencing as discomfort. It is guiding us into the awakening process. So when we start to understand the context of what is going on here and why we're here, we start to shift out of the me and the victim and the why me into I to we consciousness. I am one with all that is. And when we see the truth that we are one with all that is, we instantaneously recalibrate and we want to be in service to all that is just naturally, because we see everything is an extension of me. Even the people who trigger me. Even the people who fucking piss me off, or I experience a lot of pain by their actions, or the people who are poisoning the planet, or poisoning each other, or bombing each other, or killing each other, or are lying and manipulating, or whatever it is. These are all extensions of myself, because we are one with all that is. I am you and you are me. Same thing in two different human bodies with two different vantage points, figuring out what's it like to be golden and what's it like to be you, and interfacing and experimenting with possibility. We're in the realm of duality. So at all times we have the option to contract or expand. Sometimes contract is necessary protection. If you're in a life and death circumstance and you can't run or fight, you might need to contract to save your life. Or, it all depends. But at all times we have the option of expanding or contracting. And we always have the also different option of choosing love or choosing fear. And that is major. That's important for all of us to remember. And that I believe everything in our life is showing up for us by divine design. The divine of our eternal wisest self in the disguise, the painful stuff is wearing the disguise of pain, or what we would call obstacles or discomforts or pain in my ass or whatever it is. But there are blessings and lessons within every single experience and circumstance that happens. So I just went on a ramble. Please come join me on Patreon. I would love that. Come to my website, golden-drake.com, if you would like to book session work with me. I am building up clientele now. I have space for a few new clients at this time. Looking for people who are committed to doing the work and who are willing to commit to themselves and do what it takes to drop into true self-love, unconditional love with ourselves, and show up for ourselves and do the work of transforming our lives, even when it gets uncomfortable. That's when the good shit starts happening. You feel me? So I'm also, again, back on Instagram, active there again. So come hang with me over there. I'm Golden Awakening on Instagram. And what else? I have an event coming up. I am co-facilitating an event called My Body is My Temple. It's going to be August 25th from 2:30 to 4 p.m. at Ginseng Yoga. I am co-facilitating with my sister, Kirti Shrivastava, and we are both lifelong movers, dancers, and we are creating this space where we are offering the technique of Odissi dance. Kirti is going to be guiding that aspect. There will be aspects of breath work, yoga, meditation, and then we're also going to be creating open spaces woven in where we take the structure and we shift into flow. So we utilize codified systems and then we try them on for size and figure out what is our unique expression of that beyond the realm of right, wrong, good, bad. And so it's like the more tools we have to communicate with ourselves, with our body temples, with each other, the more we can thrive and flourish. So we create a brave space for folks to come, be in the body amongst people who release judgment at the door, release any kind of, we're really big on allowing the inner critic and the judging mind to sit in the passenger seat and take notes and be curious and observe, and allowing the true expression of the body to flow, the true expression of the soul to flow in a brave space. So if that calls to you, there is a link on my Instagram page to sign up. It's here in San Diego. We would love to have you come. And I'm just going to keep giving updates, and I'm going to keep speaking about my recovery and healing process. I would love if you continue to join me, share my videos with people who you think it might resonate with, share my work with people who you think it might resonate with. That helps me sustain myself. And so thank you. Thanks for spending time if you're still here with me. Blessings to you, big ups to you. I'm wishing you the most epic, beautiful, magical, love-filled, blessed, gorgeous day ever. Mwah. Peace.